here is hepatitis B. Infects the liver. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. The primary cause of serum hepatitis. Hepatitis B surface antigen is also called the Australian antigen. It's enveloped, see enveloped, small, circular, partial double-stranded DNA. You've got one complete strand and one incomplete strand, or partially complete. It's the smallest animal DNA virus known. Its genome encodes only 4 proteins. So you've got this genome, it goes over here, and you've got 4 proteins. And over here you've got a polymerase with reverse transcriptase. You've got transcription activator. And over here you've got a core antigen. HBE I've seen it, or HBC I've seen with a form C. And you've got HBS antigen, or the surface envelope antigen, with forms S, M, and L. Put S, M, L. So those are what the virus actually can produce. It replicates through the RNA intermediates. It resists freezing, heating, and low pH. But what also happens is, in these infected cells, you've got interferon production, INF, and it makes an immune response. The immune response has a strong CD8 T cell response, which leads to cell damage. And I think part of the big picture is being able to pay attention to the phases and diagnosis of acute window phase, complete recovery, chronic carrier, or vaccination. So you've got some pictures here that help. Since we've got the surface antigen here, which is produced by the virus, you have to be infected to have this surface antigen. So if you got this little envelope, you were infected at some point. So right here, you've got the surface antigen. This is an acute phase. It's cute. It's got the little bow. If you have an acute phase, the two things you have is the surface antigen positive. You also have a HBC antibody, which is an IgM. So you get the IgM complex here, and that shows an acute infection. Basically, the surface antibody has not been made yet, so this is an acute infection. Now, a window phase is before it is completely gone through its whole process. So the window phase is antibodies only. You're going to find an antibody to the core antigen, or the HBC antibody. So they got the core antibody. That's the only thing you're going to find right now. There are lots of antibody antigen complexes that can be detected because they're bound. So you do have the envelopes, you do have the antibody against it, but they're bound and you don't see them in the workup. So that's the window phase. It's the antibody only, and it's only that antibody. So you know you're in that window phase. A complete recovery, you're going to show the surface antibody, HBS antibody, and there's the antibody to the envelope. You're also going to show the antibody to the IgG, and that's why you know it's a complete recovery, because after 6 months or longer, it changes from IgM to IgG. This HBS surface antibody says now you're immune to the virus. That's what that shows. And you won't show any surface antigens because they've all been cleared by the previous infection. So you've got this complete recovery because you've got these antibodies that have taken care of all the antigens. Now, a chronic carrier, chronic is, you've got this nice long calendar, you're going to have that surface antigen, HBS antigen. You're going to have that envelope. You're going to have the IG, the core HBC antibody, but it's going to be IgG because the IgM has been gotten rid of, and now the IgG is there. And those are the two things you're going to see. It's similar to acute, So it's almost the same, but it's going to be IgG, so you know it's a later phase. Vaccination, it's only the HBs antibody. So that's what you're injected with to keep you immune, or to the whole complex. So the only time you're going to see this surface antigen is if you actually were infected. And the only time you're going to see these core antibodies is when you were infected, either in the window phase, complete recovery, or chronic carrier. And that's vaccination only. If you can get all of this straight, know that acute phase, you're going to see antigen. Chronic carrier, you're going to see the antigen. Everything else, you're going to see only antibodies. And if you see only this HBs antibody, then you're vaccinated. If you get all this straight, you probably get plenty of questions right. So keep that in mind with everything that's going on with hepatitis B. It is a DNA virus, and it's all the things we just talked about: enveloped, small circular, partially double-stranded, one complete strand, one partially complete, and these 4 proteins that are made and that the T cells are damaging. This can lead to to hepatitis, or hepatocellular cancer. You can die from this. You can get an infection with HDV, so hepatitis D virus also. So you can get hepatocellular cancer. One thing, if you get too much of this envelope HBs antigen, too much of it, you get this ground glass appearance. So if that shows up also, very complex. If you get all this, you'll do well.